Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. If you were here a little bit earlier, you would have seen our SU Hornets Rocket League team play against JMU. I almost said Super Smash Bros, but that's what's playing right now here in NECC Week 2 against a powerhouse of a team here tonight, Northwood, a team compiled of 9 demonic players.
Yeah, a couple professionals, I would argue, on this roster. Now, I don't actually think we will see any of them tonight. Last I checked, they were not checked in, and I hate to say it, I can't imagine any of them, in the words of our captain, would take time out of their Tuesday night to play us in Smash Bros. So I would not get your hopes up if you're hoping to see your favorite player in like Onin or DeBuzz make an appearance here tonight, but still some very high-level players over there on Northwood.
Yeah, it's going to be a very hard matchup here for SU with the 5 that we do see checked in. Very, very strong players. As we take a quick look at the group standings here in NECC, we can see who sits up on top. We have 3 2-0 teams, University of Houston, the University of Central Florida, UCF, and then tonight sitting at second place, tied with them all, is Northwood University as well.
Yeah, I mean, I tell you what, this is a brutal group. I cannot sugarcoat this very much. This is what happens when you come in second last year, which Shenandoah did. So, like, I cannot blame them for finding themselves in this group, but good lord, Northwood, University of Houston, 2 Fisher teams, Southwestern Oklahoma State University, SU played in their playoff run last year and beat, so that's something to keep an eye on when they meet later on in the season. But another thing, since this is technically our first time looking at this group, Lubbock Christian did forfeit their season, so everybody gets 1 win. That is why SU is currently 1-0, even though we have not seen them play in NECC yet this season.
Yeah, so that's the reason of the 0-7. They haven't played 7 games in 1 week, right? That would be unreal. But yeah, an unfortunate forfeit coming through from them as we take a quick look at what the rosters look like here tonight for Northwood. This is what we are expecting to see. We see Copel, Frostbite on the Roy, the K-Rule for Copel, Malachite on the Snake, and Jaja on the Kirby here as well. That's what we're expecting to see. There is Springy L checked in as well. They are a Sonic player, so another very, very dangerous character and another very, very good player on this Northwood roster.
Yeah, and again, worth mentioning that there are subs behind this roster that we, strictly speaking, could see on the Steve, DeBuzz on any number of his characters, and then Louis Money is also technically on this roster. But again, we are not putting them on this graphic for now, at least until we see them come in. But standing across from them are the usual 4, the usual suspects here in the Shenandoah Esports Arena. Igloo, Kip, Willie, and AJ all expecting to see their mains. I have to imagine that it'll be a Yoshi day for Igloo. No surprises across the board. We were slightly teased with an AJ Pikachu.
That's true.
I'm not going to get my hopes up, and I don't think any of you should either, but know that was mentioned in the arena about 3 minutes ago.
Yeah, the thing about AJ Pikachu is that was his first main before they decided to pick up Falco. So AJ has a lot of experience with this character and can play it pretty darn well. So it looks like we are hopping into our button check here for the blind kind of pick. It is looking like it's going to be Kip coming in first here for SU, and a potential Frostbite start as well on the Roy coming through from Northwood.
Yeah, no surprises here from SU, right? We saw the strats get pretty funky last week, or last time we saw SU Smash play, being that it was against Old Dominion, means that those teams know each other extremely well, and strategies can get a little crazy. I don't expect any of that here tonight. This is going to be a return to form for Shenandoah especially, and I assume Northwood as well, right? These are two teams that have not played, I don't believe, at least in recent memory. So SU starting with Kip, can't be surprised, and I don't hate the Roy matchup, I have to say, for Kip.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Kip can play this pretty confidently. I mean, Roy has to approach in this matchup with whatever it may be, fair, back air, down air, whatever it's going to come up to here for Frostbite. So Kip can play a lot of space with the Hydrant, farm up whatever he may need in this matchup. But Roy as well is just another fantastic character. I mean, a very fast character in this game. So it'll be interesting to see how Frostbite plays into this matchup, but I'm expecting this one to be pretty close.
Yeah, we'll see. The big thing that separates these two characters are their offstage capabilities. Sometimes Roy just dies offstage because he can't. His up special is very bad, and it's hard to say. How all of those interactions will play out, but we all know that Pac-Man can recover from just about anywhere on the screen, so he can go relatively far off screen and try to capitalize on some of these moments where Roy might be able to make it back. We'll have to see, right? We'll get into it as we do load into our first matchup. Here it is, the matchup we expected, as Kip gets a nice little Galaga combo to get things rolling here.
A good mix-up coming through there from Kip with, I believe that was the dash attack into that Galaga combination there. And now Frostbite holding on to that bell, but still dangerous percentage here right now for this Roy, sitting at 99% to the 46 on the side of Kip, off to an electric start here on this Pac-Man Roy matchup as they try to buy some space with that Hydrant bell in hand. If that connects, that will be the first kill. It's just a matter of finding it. Oh, the up air does connect, but won't be able to find that kill.
Yeah, that definitely was not the play design on that one. He did find the stun he was looking for, but I don't think he was ever looking to dash attack there. So slight misinput, but he'll get away with it as, wow, Roy finds a nice little setup for himself, but it's not enough. He goes off stage for the back air and it sets himself up for a potential reversal, but Kip, fighting for his life right now, does come away with it, and now perfectly spot dodging a couple back airs that almost certainly would have led to death. Means that, wow, Roy parries and catches and throws the apple back at Kip and finds success on all of those. But a Hydrant to the face will finally mean that Kip strikes first blood.
Yeah, Kip able to find the first stock in this game here. 121% still built up on this Pac-Man. Let's see what the Galaga combo can do. Not a whole lot in that sense, but Kip right now just trying to buy some time, get as much extra credit as they possibly can here on this third stock. And right now, already built up to 100%, playing incredibly well as they get hit by their own Hydrant. Now, let's watch out for this jab back air coming through on the ledge guard. Won't be able to find anything as the Hydrant is able to buy some more space here for Kip.
Yeah, I can feel the frustration coming through a little bit, or at least I could during those Galaga combos. As a well-placed fruit there, a good awareness from Frostbite there to play around the green fruit, but Kip does get caught there with the up air. 111% though on this Roy, and the bell gets caught to this. Roy is getting awfully comfortable approaching those fruits and pressing A.
A key coming out into a Nair forward air coming through. Won't be able to find that offstage interaction. Some up airs getting thrown out as well from this Roy, but still playing incredibly aggressive, able to find the down smash, but won't be able to find the kill in that sense as Kip now tries to recover here from off stage, and that is a down air into the back air, immediately able to secure that second stock.
Yeah, this is quickly turned around in favor of Frostbite. Still could lose this stock very quickly, but what was a very large advantage for Kip has evaporated rather quickly. So jab comes out at the ledge, it won't quite connect, and the apple from the platform connects that time. So stock count evens out, but again, a lot of momentum in favor of Frostbite right now as he has started to find his footing.
Yeah, Kip now trying to buy some more time to farm up these Galagas and trying to secure these combinations. The tech coming through means the Hydrant will not hit on that next bounce. Just trying to find a call out here is Kip with that forward smash, but can't find the connection on that one either. But now these stocks dangerously close for both of these players.
Yeah, 100% now means that got to keep an eye out for those hydrants. That's something that I've seen Kip go for a couple times, and he's been landing a good amount of them. Now, Frostbite has been parrying a lot of them as well, but I've got a feeling that that's the kind of thing that's going to find a stock as one connects there. Frostbite forced to air dodge through the first bell, but does get caught by the second one in the forward smash all the way from the far end of the stage. Confirms, and Kip finds his way into the lead to start this thing off.
Yeah, Kip able to win out in the 3 stocks, the 3 stocks there against Frostbite. The Roy out of the way. And now, if you're SU, you're like, oh, wow, that was a pretty good start to this crew battle here. So we'll have to see what happens. But nevertheless, a very, very close matchup coming through from those 2 players. But now, if you're Northwood, who do you put in now? I mean, you have K-Rool sitting here, Kirby, Sonic, and Snake all checked in as well. So who knows who comes in here up against this Pac-Man?
Yeah, I was kind of expecting to see Copla to start for Northwood on the K-Rool, because this is something, shout out to Way Awesome Kevin watching from home right now. This is a King K. Rool player. And what do you usually see King K. Rool players do? Go in and try to ha-ha funny kill you at 60% and move on. Like, it's kind of a gimmicky character, kind of the character that you throw in first, see what you get, and then adapt around that later. So I don't really see what role King K. Rool play, because it's not like you're ever going to get a matchup where you're like, oh, yes, got him. Let's send in King K. Rool. That's not what happens. So take a look at these replays while we continue to think about this. But Northwood's got options, and I have to imagine that King K. Rool wouldn't be it, but I would say that at any point during this series, so I'm just not sure.
Yeah, and that's another thing about Pac-Man as well. I mean, King K. Rool is a very big character and can get comboed very, very easily. Specifically with Pac-Man, the Galaga into those forward airs, up airs, whatever it may be, is pretty hard for K. Rool to find a way out of those combinations. So we'll have to see how this goes if they do go with that K. Rool. I don't think it will be K. Rool because, like you said, it just doesn't really have a bunch of great matchups. So we'll have to wait and see what comes through. But it does look like the stage pick is going to be FD here. So I don't know if that gives us any information as to what might be coming through here from Northwood. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay, for those of you watching at home, I'm looking down at their roster right now. I wanted to say Sonic, but I don't know that I agree with that because Sonic does sort of enjoy the up and down sort of infinity symbol that he makes with his Powerball movement. But looks like we are loading into our next matchup, and it will be Snake on PS2.
Well, they selected FD for just a moment there, but it will be PS2, the map pick coming through from Malachite here on Northwood, as we already see the projectile game off to a hot start. As we know, these Snakes are very, very good at throwing grenades in the direction of their opponent and, frankly, camping them out pretty darn well and waiting for those moments to come in with an up air. Kip going for a little bit of a mix-up there, but can't quite find that kill.
Yeah, it does catch a grenade there, so forced to sit in his shield a little bit longer than I'm sure he would have liked and sort of gives up that advantage that he had. Nikita Missile finds its way home, and this is a bit of an uncomfortable situation, but now Kip gets into that up B, and all of a sudden you're a bit safer, but wow, a little grenade into back air combo almost takes the stock, but now Kip has to find his way back on stage, gets knocked the other direction, so he lives to fight on just a little bit. Nikita Missile doesn't quite land, and now Kip finally finds his way back, but that's, I mean, you already saw it. That was one up tilt. He's absolutely in up tilt range as another one connects on that hydrant, and Malachite here is certainly looking for that to be the answer.
Yeah, Kip trying to get at least one stock here in this situation. 81% built up, but 171 on the side of a little Pac-Man is pretty darn high as the dash attack coming through. Hydrant back in place. Has the apple ready, will be continuing to farm up for the key. Just trying to find the call out, and that will be the grab into the up tilt, and that will seal the deal on that third stock on Kip. A great response coming through from Malachite.
Yeah, some good looks there from Kip, especially coming out of very disadvantageous positions, but finding his way back onto the stage and finding his way into some opportunities, but unfortunately coming up short. So, while can't complain about that one, I would love to see Kip try to come away with a bit more of an advantage, but it will be 9-9 again, and that means that SU gets their pick of who they send in next, which SU feels pretty good about into a snake with this roster.
Yeah, I mean, Igloo and AJ are both very confident into this matchup. I mean, already AJ's character in Falco is very good into the projectile spam with the shine, able to just send it right back your direction, not really have to worry about getting hit by a lot of those nades. Of course, some of them will come through, but a lot less pressure when you go onto that Falco. And then I believe the Yoshi from Igloo is something that they like into this matchup. Does have that pocket Samus as well in the back if they want to play a ranged game here, but I would expect it to be something similar to that Yoshi.
Yeah. If Igloo comes in now, then I would expect him to potentially go Samus based on what we saw last week. That Samus really did work out. But again, Snake was kind of worst case scenario actually last week for the Samus. So, and I know that Northwood is the caliber of an opponent that you don't want to be getting frisky with your picks and overthinking yourself into a loss. So, I would actually expect Igloo to go Yoshi if he were to come in here, but I don't actually think he will. I think SU really does like the Snake into Falco matchup. You said it with the reflectors. AJ not afraid to throw his reflectors 6-7 times in a row. Like, that's what it's going to take. That's the patience game that wins you crew battles. So I have to imagine AJ is going to come in here, and I believe we saw it on the camera that AJ was the one to move to the hot seat. So.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that makes the most sense coming into this matchup. So we'll have to see where this goes from here as we are tied up 9-9. This matchup definitely favors this Falco because of that reflect. So I think this one, if anything, is going to be a very, very close 3 stocks to 3 stocks here, and a potential for SU to come up with another lead here if AJ can come up big into this matchup as they go to town.
Yeah, this is crew battles in a nutshell right here. While Kip was not able to come away with a stock advantage, he does build an advantage for his team in the form of giving them a matchup they want. So it is AJ to come in next for SU, and he gets to deal with this Snake. So Snake recovers high. AJ tries to go up and find it. Can't quite find that up air. Malachite finds his way back onto stage, but here come the reflectors.
The reflectors coming out and connecting here for AJ thus far. A little jab and some damage getting through there on to this Snake. And the Nikita missile is out, but you can see the shine able to shut that one down. Malachite unable to really use that one as the up air comes through, and will be able to find the first stock in favor of Northwood.
Yeah, so this is the Snake game plan, all right? As wow, AJ does fall out of that combo and turn it back into his own. 127 now, and he goes up for the up air. It's not quite enough, but that one absolutely is an up smash to tie the stock count once again, and not a bad showing here so far from AJ.
Yeah, we have the C4 there mid-stage. I believe AJ did see it when it was placed, so trying to play some space around that one, but still struggling to land. Will land on the C4. That one will blow up and do a whole lot of damage there in favor of Malachite in this sense, but still a very, very close percentage here as we find ourselves still tied 2-2 in stocks.
Yeah, Malachite starting to fish for those up tilts. You have to think that AJ probably is in an up tilt range here, as barely makes it back to stage with that up B. But here come the reflectors again. I mean, this is going to be a lot of what we see, but lands right on top of the Snake and doesn't get the falling neutral air hitbox, so he lands right onto an up tilt, and that will absolutely take that stock.
Yeah, up tilt will be able to find that one. The back air not being able to hit that sweet spot that you would like. Trying to land onto the snake again and find an up smash, but can't find that connection either. A very dangerous percent coming through right now on Malachite, but AJ struggling to get in the vicinity to try to find the final blow on a very, very high percent snake.
Yeah, Malachite's movement has been very intentional and very impressive so far. He's been dodging a lot, or like spacing around a lot of AJ's options, a lot of AJ's hitboxes, and using that crouch to low profile a lot of things, a lot of the falling hitboxes, including AJ's lasers as well. So Malachite doing a good job of capitalizing on every part of his kit right now, and especially with the movement as AJ goes for the up smash and is able to avoid that grab. But now 193, AJ just struggling to put this last stock away before he probably loses his.
Spot dodge there to survive the nade, the dash, or the air dodge, excuse me, back onto stage from Malachite. Will be able to find that stock. 134% will be a miracle to find this third stock from AJ. The up tilt coming through from Malachite will seal the deal, and they will now find themselves with a 7-6 stock lead for Northwood.
Yeah, that's Snake. I mean, that's not much to say after that one. It's tough that SU got the matchup they wanted and couldn't quite come out on top, but they did still get 2 stocks off of a very strong player. The problem with Northwood is that they are all very strong players. So you take them where you can get them, but now it's going to be somebody else's problem to clean this snake up.
Yeah, it does look like it's Igloo sitting down in the chair there. I mean, that's expected to save Willie towards the end, right? I mean, a very, very powerful anchor with very powerful characters in the Terry and the Kazuya. So I expect Igloo here to go in on this Yoshi that they are very confident in. Frankly, into a lot of the matchups that sometimes they can struggle with. So it'll be interesting to see if Igloo can take this stock cleanly and even this one up at 6.
Yeah, if there's one thing I know about Igloo, it's that he's going to go up and try to take this stock off the top. If Malachite even tries to recover high once, Igloo's going to go all the way up and try to snipe him with an egg and end this thing quickly, because I've seen Igloo play from behind in scenarios like this where he plays like he's got nothing to lose. And in this type of situation, when you're only down 1 stock, I don't hate that type of mentality. He's probably going to play very aggressive with that Yoshi into Snake and try to catch Malachite sleeping a little bit here, but take a look back at these replays, right? It's a lot of what we expected to see. A lot of recoveries, a lot of Snake sort of playing around the hitboxes and trying to avoid as much damage as possible. And AJ was able to capitalize 2 times, but ultimately this last up tilt catches AJ landing on the Snake one more time and leaves Northwood with an advantage.
So we hop in here to the Yoshi Snake match up. The taunts coming through means both players are geared up and ready to go, as the eggs are just getting spammed right now
do it.
out of Igloo, trying to get some small percentage built up. The back air going just wide, trying to anticipate that landing coming through from Malachite. Back air will connect that time. The Nair not able to get through that shield. A call out there on that forward smash as well, just unable to find an angle for that one.
Yeah, big thing I'm noticing is that this Snake is more than willing to sit in his shield and let you land on him. And I've now seen Igloo do it once, and we saw AJ do it a couple times. So that's going to be something to keep an eye out on. It's something that SU needs to avoid. And if they keep falling into it, Northwood will be able to capitalize. So, oh man, yeah, just like that. The low profile doesn't allow the falling Nair to connect, and he gets a free up tilt from it. So Igloo now finds himself at kill percentage here and is going to try to find his way in just like this. What did I say? The eggs are coming out, but none of them quite land, and they land right on top of each other. A bit of an uncomfortable look there, but we return back to throwing projectiles at each other. C4 at center stage almost catches Igloo, but not quite.
Yeah, not walking in.
Would have got me. I didn't see it.
I was like, that is right there. The up smash will be able to connect there from Igloo, preserving that third stock there for SU. Able to tie this one up 6-6. Looking pretty darn good now through the Snake and the Roy.
Yeah, even stock count once again, although now advantage Northwood in that they get to pick whoever they want into this Yoshi, but you can't feel too bad about this if you are SU, right? This is a very strong Northwood team that they are still even stocks with. So now the question remains, who comes in next? Again, I regret to say I cannot justify saying K-Rool right now, but with a Sonic and a Kirby on the board, one thing to keep in mind that Igloo told us before the game is that Jaja and Igloo apparently played together quite a bit, like growing up, or at least a long time ago. So that creates uncomfortable scenarios in game, right? Matchups that should work out just don't when your opponent is too familiar with you. So that could create a bit of a spicy matchup if we get to see Igloo into JJ.
Yeah, that would be pretty fun. I mean, it's a Kirby, right? A fun character to watch in this game. One character that's not fun to watch is Sonic, and that's another option that could come through from Northwood on Springy L. Is the player that would pilot that Sonic. And then, like you said, we still have the K-Rool kind of sitting here, but again, not a good matchup into Yoshi. Frankly, not a good matchup into a lot of things in this game. So I think it's Kirby or Snake, and I could see this going, or Snake, excuse me, Sonic, and I could see this one going, frankly, either way.
Yeah, whenever K-Rool comes in, it's going to surprise me. So, like, I'm never going to rule it out, but I can also never sit up here and say that I'm expecting it. So who knows, right? When or if we might see Coppola on the K-Rool, but yeah, I have to imagine that we might see JJ's Kirby come in here. Excuse me. Especially knowing that Willie is sitting in reserves right now, and on paper, Sonic looks pretty darn good into Kazuya and Terry. Now, granted, Willie has a lot of matchup experience dealing with Novastar from ODU, even just last week, having to play into Novastar, as well as preseason having to play against Novastar and ODU. And so far, Willie has come out on top in every single one of those head-to-heads. So SU maybe not feeling as bad about that matchup, but thinking from Northwood's perspective, I imagine they're trying to keep the Sonic for last.
Yeah, I think that makes the most sense, right? There's a lot of speed, and it's very hard for Kazuya or Terry to really get hands on the Sonic because, frankly, it's just too fast. You can't really get the inputs out in time to really find any sort of connection and combo strings. I know Willie is pretty darn good at getting them out pretty consistently and very, very quickly, but sometimes, no matter how good you are on a character, it's not enough into just raw speed from a Sonic. So we'll have to see if that is the case. If they do save that Sonic, I agree with you, Chris, that it would make the most sense for them to save that Sonic for later. So the JJ Kirby into Igloo Yoshi might be the answer here. And with the history with these two players, I mean, that would be pretty exciting.
Yeah, it would be pretty exciting, especially, knowing what we know, knowing that there is history between these two players. I'm sure it's a pretty cool moment for both of them to even have the opportunity to match up here in the collegiate scene. But also, I mean, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that there are multiple other subs on this Northwood roster that might just show up. If things are not going well, we might get a DeBuzz jump scare. Boo, Rosalina. I mean, I don't know. Like, strictly speaking, I can't rule that out. But yeah, if I'm Northwood, I think it makes the most sense to go JJ here. But we await that decision, as it looks like Northwood is also switching switches. Haha, no pun intended.
Oh, there you go.
Using different switches for each of their players. So we're getting a bit of an extra delay here between matches as they leave the lobby and then come back in on a new one. So
yeah, we'll hop into this match as fast as we possibly can, but 6-6 is definitely not something that I know Igloo was expecting coming into this matchup. I know they were saying this is a very, very tough matchup and it's a very massive hill to climb if they want to stay in this one. And so far, both Kip and AJ have looked pretty good, and they've done their job soundly to put SU in a position to come up with a set win here against a very, very powerful Northwood team. So We'll have to see if they can go up 1-0 after these 6 stocks on either side gets played out as we await Northwood to join into the arena and get this one started. And that'll obviously, of course, solidify what player we see coming in as well. But right now, it looks like, Kopel has joined. That is the K rule.
I said it would surprise me.
So, hey, that might be the answer.
I said it would surprise me anytime it happened, and I guess that's now. Yeah, I mean, I guess unless there are multiple people playing on Kopel's Switch, which, could absolutely be true. We'll have to wait and see. But as we load into the arena, we do actually see that it's King K. Rool. So, surprise, surprise. I don't know if Kevin is watching from home right now, but here we go. We get a K. Rool on stream, and it's going into Igloo's Yoshi.
Igloo Yoshi into Kopel's K. Rool here on Northwood. 3 stocks to 3 stocks. We did learn from Kevin that there is a slight glitch in the game. If you SD throwing your crown and I think catch it before you die, you will spawn in with 2 crowns just for fun, and you can really combo off of 2 crowns in a row. But I mean, in a crew battle scenario, I don't think you want to be really SDing a stock for anything, as 2 up airs will connect and will be able to find the first stock there into Igloo Yoshi.
Yeah, that's a tough start for Igloo, as he did not get much work done on that first stock before losing it. And you immediately saw King K. Rool go off stage and try to catch Igloo off guard with the blunderbuss and try to steal a stock. That's the type of character that we're looking at. I said it, the haha, kill you at 60%, and we all move on with our lives. But now, up to 104%, Igloo does get a nice read to run away and catches the crown. What's he going to do with it? Parry the cannonball and throw it right into the belly armor of King K. Rool. He does avoid a dash attack, but can't find the punish. So we continue to ping-pong back and forth as he does find a sweet spot forward air, but gets promptly interrupted by the crown's return.
Yeah, Igloo struggling to try to find the area. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that does shield break if it hits properly. I can't remember.
Yeah, it does a
true.
ton of shield damage.
Yeah.
It doesn't guaranteed break every time, and it looked like King K. Rool's shield was full, so not quite enough.
Yeah, very, very close interaction there as Igloo goes for that forward air, but unable to find it as K. Rool is able to recover back to stage. 162. The forward air there coming through from K. Rool, as now the ledge guard coming through. Won't be able to find the angle. Forward air again. Up smash trying to find that first stock, but right now Igloo struggling to get this first one off of this K. Rool.
Whoa!
All right.
Nice little mix-up there from Igloo to use the downbeat to land at the ledge. We've seen him do that a couple times, but not usually in an offensive manner, usually just as a recovery mix-up. So good awareness there from Igloo's Yoshi, as now he does get an opportunity to string a combo together and find some good damage. 45%. Avoids a grab and looks for more. The forward air goes just wide, but he gets bailed out by the jab. And the up air just outright beats Yoshi's nair. And another stock off the board for Igloo.
Yeah, we'll be able to find that grab. Going for the down smash again, trying to read a landing in mid-stage there, but won't be able to find it. The up air, or up tilt, excuse me, into back air. Goes for that fair. That possibly would have found the kill if you'd find that sweet spot with 119%. But right now, Igloo holding on to this stock and looking pretty good at closing off this second stock, as well as they go for yet another ledge guard.
Yeah, he was trying to read the jump with that forward air, and he did. But King K. Rool smartly drifting back when he did it to avoid that forward air. And as Igloo just walks up and charges in an up smash, catches King K. Rool on the platform, and just like that, we're tied at stock counts again, and Igloo not in a better situation than he was before, but quickly losing it again. These up airs just stringing together perfectly for Kopel, and he walks away with a stock advantage for Northwood.
Yeah, 4 stocks to 3 now as we move into our last player in Willie here for the SU Hornets. Igloo doing a great job at getting those 2 stocks out of the way and not losing too much in that exchange. But you have to think, K. Rool into Akasia, that's not necessarily where you want to be.
Yeah, a bit of a scary matchup. Any heavyweight character into Akasia is pretty intimidating, but I'm curious who Willie will pick, if it will be Kazuya or Terry, knowing what's left on the board for Northwood being a Kirby and a Sonic. I know that Willie has come to prefer Terry into Nova Star's Sonic. I don't know if that's a matchup or a player-specific decision or not, but something to keep an eye out, because I think that Kazuya would be a lot more intimidating into a K. Rool. Terry does a lot of the same stuff, and, you know, still has those types of strings, but not nearly as much like heavy specific, right? You're still going to see all the same jab power dunks and the rising tackle confirms and all of that, but Kazuya I do think is a bit more intimidating for any heavyweight to go into.
Yeah, it does look like Willie is going to opt towards the Terry pick here. This is something that Willie likes to play a lot of the time just because of the comeback potential and a little bit more coverage that Terry can have into a lot of these matchups. I mean, you mentioned the Nova Star matchup as well with that Sonic. The Terry looked pretty good into that one as well. And Terry has that go meter, right? If you get caught by a Power Geyser or a Buster Wolf, it hurts. It hurts a lot and can kill fairly early depending on where you're hit on the stage with that one. So I think Terry is the right pick here for Willie to go on a run.
Yeah, it's another factor too that, like, you know, while it seems somewhat silly, Power Geyser has a huge hitbox, and so does King K. Rool.
That's also,
you know, that's all of a sudden a bit harder to avoid. So we'll see if it gets to that point. I'm sure Willie is hoping to take the stock before he even needs to use a Power Geyser. But I have to say that SU right now only down one stock has to be a better situation than they probably expected to be in this matchup. Again, who knows if SU takes this set one and then all of a sudden Northwood calls up the big bad guys sitting on the bench right now. Who knows, right? There's a lot that can happen, but I have to say that I'm impressed with how SU has hung in there so far in this series.
Yeah, I mean, they've been doing a fantastic job thus far as a little bit of a hop on, what is that called? Oh my goodness.
Footstool.
Anyway, footstool, that's what it's called. They're on that second SD as a grab comes through. And now Willie starting to put down some damage here onto this K. Rool grab. Yet again, just going for that spike, unable to find it, just trying to find these offstage interactions. But right now, doing a very, very good job at making sure this K. Rool does not have a lot of time to react and not a lot of space to breathe.
Whoa. Yeah, Willie's playing very clinical right now, but extremely aggressive. He is never leaving King K. Rool's comfort zone, but just like that, Willie does air dodge up and can't make it back to the ledge. That's a disastrous stock loss for Willie, as he was in the driver's seat for that whole game, but he will walk away with the jab power dunk and find his way to Northwood's last player.
Yeah, very, very unfortunate SD coming through from Willie there on the Terry, but yeah, last player now coming through for Northwood. It's going to be 3 stocks to 2. Would have liked to see that 3 stocks to 3 stocks in this last player matchup, but hey, sometimes you can't get everything the way you want it, but still some potential for SU to come out here with a set 1 win.
Yeah, would love to have that one back if you're Willie and keep this an even 3-3, but you said it, yeah, beggars can't be choosers, and as Kevin would always say, I know he's watching from home right now, that you can't complain about trading 1 for 1. So, circumstances aside, Willie does find himself with an opportunity to take out the last player, right? And that's all you can ask for, is to give Willie a shot. And he has earned the right to at least compete. It will only be with 2 stocks, and it will be with Terry. The $1 million question is, who's he going to be?
Yeah, I mean, that is the big one, right? We have not seen Kirby and we have not seen Sonic thus far in this set. So we'll have to see if it is going to be the Sonic. I feel like that is the one that makes the most sense just into these kind of Shoto-style characters. It's just very hard to get any damage onto a Sonic. And it's pretty easy for Sonic to combo up into those characters as well, because they are a little bit larger hitboxes when it comes to the grand scheme of things. So I'd like to see the Sonic on the side of Northwood, but who knows? It might be something funky coming through with the Kirby. Who knows?
Yeah, and again, if it is Sonic, I think that's semi-good news for SU in the sense that, yeah, he does have the the power wave to get through the power ball. But yeah, we see the replay there and a very, very unfortunate SD from Willie. I mean, we'll see if that ends up being a game changer here in this last series, but that's definitely something to remember now that Willie has to go into this with the stock down.
Yeah, and we'll have to see how SU performs into this final stock. I mean, if Willie runs away with 2 stocks and loses that last stock, you got to think, man, that other stock really, really hurt in that sense. But if it's a wallop in Northwood's direction, then you won't feel too bad, I guess, about that SD. Because, I mean, sometimes things just don't go your way, right? So we'll have to see how Willie performs here in this anchoring position, knowing that they're down that 1 stock. And then Northwood, of course, knowing that the Terry is the one in play, right? They don't have to worry about a Kazuya or a Terry potential. You know it's the Terry coming into it. You know that Willie knows a lot about this Sonic matchup and is favorable in that one as well. So we'll have to see how Willie performs here, but it's going to be a close one.
Yeah, we wait to see that the name of the Switch has joined the lobby, but it is not a direct correlation to any of Northwood's player names, so we'll see. But as they load in to the arena, it will be Sonic. So no surprises here from Northwood. I think that is the correct decision, and we'll just see if it's the correct decision in the form of results.
Yeah, I mean, Sonic, of course, makes the absolute most sense here in this 3-2 stock scenario, as Willie already going up on the aggression up throw, scissor kicks coming through already from the Sonic. Willie unable to get a grasp on the Sonic thus far, not really using that power ball that much, so kind of approaching with grabs as, well, just as I say that, the power balls start to be thrown out left and right, trying to combo into this scissor kick up air that is super, super strong from the Sonic.
Yeah, this is already a very different Sonic style than SU is used to seeing from Novastar. As wow, a big read there from Willie's Terry. Doesn't quite find the stock. You'd love to have that one and maybe just walk away with an advantage out of nowhere, but a burn knuckle right into the shield means Willie's going to be in trouble getting back to the stage here. He is able to avoid all of that, and a nice SDI out of that jab power dunk. Springy gets away with one, and now both of these players have come dangerously close to losing their first stocks, but neither one going down just yet.
Yeah, trying to find that dash attack, the up spin, the up air will be able to find that first stock off of Springy thus far. Still a lot of percent built up onto this stock here, but still a lot of comeback potential on this Terry with that go meter active.
Yeah, this is where you got to be careful against Terry. You cannot let him sit with this go meter for too long. The moment he gets over 100%, you have to find a way to take this stock quick, and Sonic has not been able to. He finally will confirm the power ball into a forward air and walk away with the stock. Terry, getting real aggressive with the rising tackle there, does eat a lot of damage for it. But again, now, with how this is gone, I hate to say it, but I cannot help but think of that last stock that Willie lost in this last matchup. This has been very close so far and still very winnable for Willie, but boy, would you love to have that stock buffer right now.
Yeah, I mean, I know I would, right? I mean, Willie is playing out of his mind right now up into this Sonic 130% built up. The forward air coming through as well. The flip kick able to connect. The ledge guard coming through from the Sonic was very, very strong. And now 100% go meter online. Sonic and Terry, both Willie and Springy, down to their final stock.
Yeah, I mean, this is all you can ask for, right? Willie has absolutely given himself an opportunity to come away with a win here. One more stock standing between him and a potential SU Set 1 victory, but Springy L here looking to do anything but, as Willie's starting to play real dangerous and get aggressive, try to maybe steal this stock with a random spike, a random comeback mechanic like a power geyser like that. But, I mean, that might just be what it takes at this point. 130% on this Terry is awfully scary, and Springy knows it. He's playing very carefully, and he does catch the jump, so Willie's out of recovery options. He does have to recover with that rising tackle. Oh, no! And just barely doesn't survive. So Northwood comes out on top by 1 stock in the final tally, but boy, was that close.
Yeah, I mean, you got to look back to that K-Rool stock, right? I mean, you could have had an even 3-3, and you got to think with the way that Sonic matchup went for Willie, you would have won that one if you have one more stock in the tank there. Very, very close first set, but that's only one, right? Northwood still has to close out a second set here to come up with a series victory. And the way SU looks so far, it's going to be a very hard matchup coming in for this second set for Northwood.
Yeah, both of these teams are making the other team work for it. I mean, this has been very impressive through one set. SU was looked very evenly matched, just outright, looking very strong on all facets. All 4 players looking very strong in their independent matchups, right? Nobody really forced to step up and try to carry some extra weight from anybody else's misplays. I mean, everybody has done their job so far in this series. Northwood just comes out with a bit of a break there late in that set, and now SU find themselves in a hole down 1 in this series.
Yeah, so we look back into some of these replays. That was the K-Rool, or this is the K-Rool matchup that we saw. That SD was the first stock that we saw in that sense as we hop into this Sonic matchup. I mean, it looked really, really clean coming through from Willie. They were getting aggressive, not afraid to go off stage and find an avenue to find and steal a stock, right? But just unable to find the finishing blow. I mean, the jump there, very, very close to surviving on that launch, but just barely too much.
Yeah, just barely too much. So, got to be able to shake that off as SU gets ready to load into a revenge match, a revenge set here after coming very, very close. I mean, I cannot stress that enough. This team, while I think they came into today knowing it would be very difficult, I don't want to say, didn't think they could win. That's not at all what I mean. But, like, all of a sudden you've got way more hope than you might have about 30 minutes ago.
Yeah, it's definitely a very, very close series, a lot closer than a lot of people expected into how stacked this Northwood roster is. But I mean, you got to look at things that were just kind of down to the wire, right? I mean, the Igloo into the K-Rool matchup was very, very close. Maybe if you pick up an extra stock there, it's a different ball game, right? So it's definitely going to come down to very specific interactions. I mean, AJ played very well into the Snake, but wasn't able to close that one out. Kip was unbelievable into that Roy. Everyone was doing their part. They were just a hair short in some of the interactions.
Yeah, so it does look like we are getting ready to load into our second set here. And again, with Northwood using different switches per player, we do get a reveal that Northwood is starting with the Snake. Wait, so that was a mix-up. Maybe they are in our heads. Okay, wait, let me walk you through what just happened. So the switch that player 1 used for last set was the Roy?
Yeah, Frostbite Roy was the first one to come in. Yeah.
So Frostbite's switch joined the lobby, but entered the arena and showed Snake, and then promptly left the lobby. So bit of mind games, and I guess smart from Northwood to know that you are at a bit of a disadvantage by using different switches, playing the mental game, but now we get to wait for the real switch to join the lobby.
Yeah, we will have to wait and see what comes through here. I feel like the Roy start with Frostbite makes sense. Again, I could see a switch up into that Snake just to try to get Kip out of the way early. We know this player is very capable of going on dangerous runs when they get hot on this character, and that Pac-Man is a frustrating character to play into anyways, right? Very campy, very farmy with what they try to look for with their bell rotations, Galaga's keys, the ledge guards with apples, whatever it may be. So it's going to be a tough matchup regardless of what you put in, but it's going to be up to Kip to come up on top.
Yeah, while we know that SU likes the Falco into Snake matchup, I do know that, again, this team has so much matchup experience into Snake, period, with Angel Eyes from ODU. Now, granted, again, very different play style. We all know, all of you watching at home who have ever watched a Shenandoah stream before, odds are it was against ODU from how often we play them. And we all know that all 4 of those ODU players play around preserving their stocks as much as possible. From what we saw from this Snake player specifically, that's not the style. That's not the game plan coming in. It's a much more traditional smash game plan from this Snake. So not sure how Kip will be able, or if Kip will be ready for that, right? That's something that I'm sure he has a bit less experience into, but it might not matter because the difference between those 2 Snake styles is not as different as some other characters.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. So with that being said, we are still waiting for the Switch to join into the arena. We'll have to wait and see if it is going to be Frostbite Switch joining yet again and leaving, or joining and staying this time. So we'll have to see who comes through. But I mean, I could see a potential start of K-Rule here. I mean, it looked good later on as well into Igloo. So I don't know if they want to kind of throw that one out of the window and try to test some other Yoshi matchups here, because the K-Rule looked pretty good, right? Was able to get 2 stocks, or I guess 3 stocks out of the way into Igloo there. The up airs connecting in strings of 2 and killing up off the top. So we'll have to see if they can keep that going and want to save that into the Igloo matchup. But I mean, right now, it's just kind of the waiting game to see what Northwood wants to do.
Yeah, my read on that interaction was that was the reveal. Like, I do think we are going to see Snake first. It's just a matter of getting that player in here. And I don't know what the delay is. We'll let you know as soon as we know. But I also imagine we won't know because I imagine this player is just making their way to the lobby. I don't know, maybe queued up for some Elite Smash. And is stuck in a banger, who's to say? But we await, and so unfortunately, so do all of you. But hopefully we'll get into match here soon when this player finds their way to our lobby.
Yeah, another thing I want to look at on the SU roster is we do have a sub in Eyes who has potential to maybe play with a mix-up. I mean, a Roy Palutena player, pretty strong. But when you look at the roster of SU that we always usually start with Kip, Igloo, AJ, and Willie, I don't know if there's a place for Eyes to slide in a match that is seemingly very, very close. We do have the answer, by the way. Malachite's Switch has joined in on the Snake. So it is going to be the Snake start coming through from Northwood. They just had to, I guess, maneuver some switches around to get the right one into the lobby.
Yep, so we find our way into game finally. So we get to start set 2 here, SU, with a lot of momentum. Granted, not enough to find a victory in set 1, but still looking very hot in a matchup that they might not have expected to. But we load in and we get to see the Snake game plan develop. Lots of grenades, a couple Nikita missiles, a couple dash attacks, couple up tilts. I mean, this is the playbook, and Malachite is no exception so far.
He's getting tossed out here, trying to play a little bit of that ranged game is Kip right now, but Malachite playing very, very strong. The mortar ledge guard, the one option coming through, the C4 mid-stage blowing up, unable to catch the tail end of Kip there in that exchange. The grab up throw into one up air will be able to connect Galaga in hand, but Malachite doing a great job at avoiding that combo starter.
Yeah, C4 now on the top left platform. Keep an eye out for that if Kip ever finds himself there, but it does go away, and so does Kip's first stock. One up tilt lands, and that is enough to kill a Pac-Man at 100%. That up tilt coming out so fast, but securing stocks so easily. That is part of what makes Snake such a good character in this game.
Yeah, Kip trying to go for that forward smash as well, expecting a little bit of a faster recovery, but unable to connect on that one, as a lot of percent already built up yet again onto Kip's second stock. The C4, okay, hey, sure, why not? We will take stock where we can get it. Now let's see how much Kip can do without losing this second stock, as they are already at quite the disadvantage here in this first set.
Yeah, a bit of dancing around hitboxes there as Snake has very much avoided a good amount of damage, but finally Kip finds his way in, but only finds a couple forward airs to make it 2 more to bring it to 25%. So not racking up a ton of damage as Snake continues to just throw these hitboxes out. That was a bit uncomfortable, but Kip finds his way back to the ledge. Up tilt comes out to try to buffer a landing potentially, but Kip doesn't fall for it, throws the hydrant down instead, and here come the grenades. Kip can't even charge his fruits because these grenades are raining down, and once again avoiding the hitboxes, as that's an important interaction to keep an eye out. Snake got a grab off, went for the chokehold, and Kip got up with a get-up attack, that's what it's called. So now you have to think that Malachite will be expecting that next time that interaction plays out. Yeah,
bell in hand here. The C4 right under that platform. Kip does see it and will not get hit by it. The bell will connect, but in an awkward position was Kip, unable to follow up with any sort of smash attack to try to seal that deal. The key coming out yet again, but Malachite able to shield that one in time. A side B coming through as well. The apple connecting. Another apple will come through. The apple still in hand will be dropped, but unable to find the avenue. The sleep into up tilt will be able to find that second stock off of Kip, but did a great job at getting this Snake up to 130.
Yeah, another up tilt finds its way home and secures a stock. So C4 on the top left platform again. Keep an eye out for it. Hydrant connects 150%. Key in hand for Kip. So you know he's going to try to just surprise you with one. If he jumps here, you might expect it. There it goes. But Malachite opts to recover high. Apple goes low, so they do not connect. 163. The Hydrant's starting to push those grenades back, and I think Malachite started to catch on and stand up on the platform instead. Apple goes wide. Excuse me, and Kip just trying to put this stock away.
The Snake now up to 185%. Kip struggling to find the finishing blow here on this second stock. Still has not built up a whole lot of percent on their last stock, only up to about 56% now. As I say that, 70. Oh, the Hydrant connecting as well, and here come the grenades yet again. One up on that platform, the Hydrant coming up, trying to fish for this up tilt now is Malachite, trying to go for that grab that would have possibly secured that stock, but unable to find it. Kip still fishing, trying to find an angle for this second stock. 185% key in hand will be thrown out, but shielded by Malachite.
Yeah, I'm just not sure what it's going to be for Kip. Turns out it won't be anything. The Nikita missile goes straight at him, and Kip gets caught charging his fruits, so Malachite walks out with 2 stocks remaining and a bit of a rough start compared to how SU got out in set 1.
Yeah, and now if you look at this matchup, right, you have 11 stocks to 9 in favor of Northwood. I would have to assume that AJ is going to be the one to come in here to try to answer into this Snake. So it makes the most sense just because of how Falco works with the Shine. It does look like AJ is the one sitting down in the chair, so expect that matchup to be the one to come through, saving Igloo for possibly this Roy coming up.
Yeah, I'm not expecting the order from Shenandoah to change at all. I think the roadmap has been laid out. It looks like Northwood is probably just going to switch their first 2 characters from Roy into Snake into Snake into Roy. If I had to bet, I mean, obviously we'll have to wait and see, but last time these 2 players met, AJ was able to take 2 stocks, and now this time that's all he'll have to do. I say that's all he'll have to do. That's what it's going to take for AJ to get out of this matchup alive. 2 stocks remaining for Malachite. Tough break from Kip does put SU in a bit of a hole, and now AJ is going to have to be the one to make up for it.
Yeah, AJ is going to frankly have to find these 2 stocks fairly cleanly to try to keep SU into this matchup. I mean, we haven't seen Willie into anyone else other than that Sonic, and Willie seemed to be fairly in control of that matchup, but having to go through multiple players is always a tall order for any player, regardless of who you are, unless you're MPG. That was a ridiculous
that was crazy.
run from that Mega Man. I can't remember the team that they were on now that I think about it. Delaware, yeah. Some people can do it and bring it down to one stock, but it's hard regardless, as we look like we are poised to hop into this Falco Snake matchup with Northwood up 11 stocks to 9.
Yeah, good news about SU having their player knocked out means we're going to get into the next set pretty fast. So SU able to get their player in quick. AJ, next man up for SU. But again, expect to see a lot of what you saw last time, because it did work out pretty nicely for Malachite. A lot of low profiles, a lot more hands in your face type gameplay, more up tilt, a well-placed C4 there catches the side B, and now Malachite getting very comfortable approaching this Falco and trading blows, except hardly trading because he hasn't taken much damage.
Yeah, AJ struggling to get a combo starter going. The spot dodge into up tilt will be able to find the first stock, the down air as well. Had the C4 in place, but won't be able to find that transition into that C4. But still, you can see Malachite playing unbelievably well. Spot dodge again into the down tilt. AJ now finally able to get an up tilt of their own, but can't transition that into much more. Malachite playing so aggressive right now on this Snake. Not something that SC frankly is used to. The C4 finds another one.
Yeah, the low profile is really blowing my mind right now, because it is avoiding, oh my god, it is avoiding Falco's falling nair, his up tilt, his lasers, and I'm sure more things that I'm forgetting. And that is an overwhelming amount of AJ's kit. All of his combo starters involve those moves. And now an ugly recovery angle here might result in disaster, but he gets caught rolling in the up tilt, connects, and Malachite is hot.
Yeah, this Snake player, Malachite, is not something that we are used to seeing in Snakes. I mean, you mentioned before, Angel Eyes is one player that we've played numerous times, and this Snake is a different beast. Very aggressive, like you said, using that low profile, able to dodge out on, frankly, a lot of the moves coming through from AJ on this Falco, as it looks like it's going to be a quick response. Igloo sitting down in the seat very quickly, looking to hop in to this game and try to get this Snake out of the way, still sitting on 2 stocks.
Yeah, respect to SU keeping this thing rolling quick, because we are not here to wait any longer than we already have. But unfortunate circumstances that put us in that situation. Obviously, now SU down 5 stocks, and AJ coming up empty-handed when he sort of had to be the one to step up is not what you like to see if you are the Hornets. So now, unfortunately, SU is going to have to dig deep in their bag of tricks. Does that mean Igloo plays Samus? I don't think so. I still think that matchup is still pretty intimidating for the Samus. I don't think it's worth the mix-up, per se. But we are getting ready to load it into this one, and it will be Igloo's Yoshi going to bat with Malachite.
Yeah, Igloo's Yoshi is the hopeful answer here for SU to potentially go on a run, just like Malachite has been doing here for Northwood. I mean, we already see nades coming out left and right, but not quite yet. You do need to take that first SD, just hopping into that one like nothing happened. I mean, I get it. Sometimes you just want to start playing Smash Bros. As soon as humanly possible, but already we can see Malachite putting on the pressure. Igloo already up to 66%.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. It's exciting to play Snake. I mean, this is a great time. Malachite now already getting Igloo up to 80%. But Igloo does find some damage in response, but here come the grenades, right? More of these hitboxes just overwhelming Igloo's options. He finds his way in and is promptly connected with an up tilt. So to entertain you all, I have exciting news from our rival squad. They just won map 1. And depending on how this series goes, we might be able to tune it into their stream. That was a joke. Don't expect to see any Marvel Rivals.
True.
But
Yeah, I've never played that game. I don't know what I would be saying. I'd be like, I think that's Groot, yes, and Rocket's on his shoulder. Awesome, that's fantastic. There's some kind of team up. I think that's the only term I really know. If they do like a partner thing and they can team up and they get buffs based off of it. That's literally all I know about that game. Other than there's Marvel characters.
There's a reason that, when we streamed Marvel Rivals last week that you didn't see either me or Ben.
Yeah.
But Igloo going off stage, looking to try to steal a stock away by destroying the Halo recovery thing, but unfortunately met with a response from Malachite once again. Malachite not losing a stock still since we had a Pac-Man on our screen, which now feels like a decade ago, but a spike into a well-timed up smash, and that's exactly what I said I thought we were going to see the first time these two players met. Igloo not afraid to go high and chase after Malachite's recovery.
And now let's see if Igloo can close out this game with saving this second stock. It's going to be difficult the way Malachite has been playing, going for the down air, trying to get that percentage built up, but struggling to find anything off of that 112% built up now onto Igloo. The mortar ledge guard will be the response here from Malachite, but won't be able to find anything off of that footstool. And was that C4 question mark, or was that just a grenade able to connect there? Yeah, able to find that second stock. Now Igloo in a dire situation.
Yeah, that was a new one for me. The footstool caught Igloo, or forced Igloo to stay stunned underneath the platform, and it gave Snake, surprisingly, enough time to place the C4 and detonate it before Igloo got out of his own hit stun. So 116% now on Snake. Igloo just looking to put this away and move toward Northwood's second player, whoever that might be. But this has been a massive change of pace, or a massive story of two halves here, two sets, if you will, for Northwood, right? They, I guess, had an ugly first set, and SU absolutely meeting them in the moment, but struggling to do so this time around as Igloo goes high once again and syncs up perfectly with Snake's recovery, so he does put an up air right on him, and Igloo finally advances the Northwood players into their next man up.
Yeah, Malachite finally out of the way. Now, when we look at the rest of Northwood's roster, right, who do we expect to come in as that second player? Frankly, I think it might be this Roy, the one to come through in this scenario, saving a K-Rool towards the end, potentially. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see where we land. But right now, Northwood in complete control of the second set.
Yeah, now they have found themselves in a situation where they can switch up their order a bit more than I originally led on to earlier. That King K-Rool did look pretty good into Igloo's Yoshi. So now maybe, given the information you have, you stick to what you know what worked, and what worked was this King K-Rool, something that I never would have expected coming into today, but here we are. So Coppola certainly on the table, but also the Roy that we saw start last set, the Sonic that we saw come in to close the set, who also played into one stock of Igloo, or more than, no, did not play into Igloo.
I don't believe so.
Yeah,
no.
I take that back. Only saw Willie's Terry. But still, if I'm Northwood, I have to imagine I'm sticking to what we've seen. And what we've seen is that King K-Rool. So here I am going back on what I said earlier, that I could never really recommend King K-Rool. Well, here we are.
Yeah, it might not be a bad idea, frankly. I mean, it looked really good into Igloo there in set number 1. Could obviously be a response here to force out Willie on the Terry or the Kazuya for the comeback of the century, it feels like, if that were to be the case. But yeah, it's going to be a big ask for Igloo to go into this next set and get, frankly, at least 2, right? Because we've seen Willie go on big runs before. It's just a matter of getting there, right? We need to set Willie up for an avenue of success, and right now it's going to be tough.
Yeah, and we do see that, shout out Coppola, able to make it into the arena in a timely manner. It looks like it will likely be King K-Rool, assuming he's able to pick his character and show it to us.
True.
But Yeah, I mean, I think this makes sense. This matchup has been played, and now Igloo only has one stock to work with this time around. So, smart decision to use the information they gained from set 1 and not let it go to waste. They know that Coppola clearly liked how this went, liked how it felt, and he's going to try to replicate that here and take one stock against Igloo.
Yeah, Coppola, the one to respond, to answer the call here into Igloo's Yoshi. 9 stocks to 4. Pretty dire situation like we've been mentioning here in this second set, but Igloo already off to a much better start than they were last time into this matchup.
Caught him countering. It's a bit of a panic there from Coppola, starting to get a little uncomfy with the circumstances, but nice little reversal catches Igloo on the wrong side, but there's that down B getting a little too comfy in that shield, and Igloo is catching on. So what a start here from Igloo to get this ball rolling.
Yeah, Igloo able to find that stock indeed, but 73% built up already on this final stock. Very, very high and difficult to get 2 stocks off of, but right now Igloo's playing very, very aggressive and very well into this K-Rule. Already building up 65% onto this second stock, but trying to remain with this 1 stock here. So a 3 stock would be absolutely massive, but 94%, it's going to be tough.
I'll tell you what, if there's one thing I've learned from 3.5 years of casting Smash at this school, it's that I can't think of a scarier player to play in Smash Bros. Than an Igloo that has nothing to lose. Igloo, able to take 2 stocks there, does unfortunately get caught rolling and shoved straight into the ground. But Coppola still comes out on top and avoids what could have been a disastrous start to a momentum roll for SU.
Yeah, I mean, props to Igloo finding the shield break on that one and that nair so far off stage, able to find 2 stocks. That's a 7-3 scenario here for Willie. Now, what do we think Willie goes in with, right? I feel like it's going to be, the Terry, because it looked good into the Sonic, and there's a lot of comeback potential with that character. Not to say that Kazuya doesn't have comeback potential, but it's just a little bit more difficult to play into some of the matchups that are remaining here. I mean, we have a Roy potentially that we've seen. A Kirby could still come through, and how small that character is. Electric will just miss that character if they crouch, similar to how that Snake was low profiling a lot of AJ's combos with the Falco. So it's going to be difficult if you go Kazuya in this scenario. So I feel like the only answer here has to be the Terry.
I agree, yeah, and yet, excuse me, good lord, this set is killing me, but you got to think that, again, using the information we got from set 1, Willie's Terry looked good. I mean, he was hanging with the Sonic especially, but he also made quick work of this King K. Rool on the Terry, with the unfortunate SD that we brought up a couple times, right? That's unfortunate to think back on, but that was his own misfire, right? The Terry looked great, period. So I think you have to keep that in mind. And now, as we load in, and we do see that it will be Terry, Coppola backed out of the arena, so hang tight. Never mind, we're getting back into it. So Coppola gets back into the arena. We're good. We're getting this thing rolling, but it will be Willie's Terry that now has to face 7 stocks right in the face.
Yeah, it's going to be hard, Chris. I mean, that is never where you want to be in a crew battle, but with 1 stock remaining on this K-Rule and a Terry, the one in the driver's seat for Willie, he can find the stock quickly. I mean, it's a big-bodied character into a Shoto that does very, very well, and it's very hard to get out of their combos, right? Already going for the spike is Willie there, the grab, trying to find the angle, the parry coming through yet again, already 67% built up onto this K-Rule thus far, playing unbelievably right now as Willie.
Yeah, I mean, he's playing with the same confidence and aggression that he played with the first time these two players met, and that's exactly what it was going to take. Into a matchup like that, you can't, and with circumstances like that, you don't have time to sit and worry about what could happen if you get a little too aggressive, because that's what it's going to take to go through 7 stocks. So I love to see that from Willie. A very confident, very commanding start to what's going to have to be an overwhelming run. But the big question now is who comes in after that K-Rool?
Yeah, I mean, the K-Rool trying to recover gets hit by that spike, and that will seal the deal on that one with that high of a percentage. But yeah, now the answer is really who is the answer, right? We have 6 stocks remaining on the side of Northwood to the 3 on the side of Willie, right? So we have Frostbite waiting here in the wings, Jaja on the Kirby, and then we have, what is the name? I forget the name, right? Springy on the Sonic waiting here in the wings as well. So we will have to wait and see who comes out in this scenario, but right now, I feel like it's got to be Frostbite. I feel like that's the one that makes the most sense to me.
Yeah, I think I agree. Shout out the Boston Red Sox for coming out on top.
Hate the Yankees,
our
baby.
Producer's pretty upset about
Let's
it.
go.
So that's what I'm laughing about. Yeah, I have to think that probably you put Frostbite in and see what he can do, knowing that the Sonic matchup was as close as it was. I think you try to give him as much of a cushion as you can in the form of Frostbite, who we have not seen yet in set 2. There is also Jaja on the Kirby. I guess that's kind of the same argument, but clearly Northwood put a lot of faith in starting Frostbite's Roy that I have to imagine they would have that same faith going into this type of situation to just take a stock or 2 or whatever you can get.
Yeah, no, I feel like that makes sense into Willie right now. I mean, you have 3 stocks to get through. You have 6 stocks to work with. I mean, you can chip away at this one. It doesn't have to be anything crazy from either side. Well, from Willie's side, it has to be something crazy. But for the players left for Northwood, just do what you have to do, right? It does look like the answer is going to be Frostbite on the Roy, as we are in game. So if we could switch over to that one real quick, observers, as the mix-up is coming through the down jab. We didn't miss much other than some just straight percentage combos coming through. But yeah, right now, SU, Willie fighting from behind here percentage-wise.
Yeah, so good combos from both of these players in the time that we were gone, as a jab power dunk, believe it or not, confirms into a jab power dunk. But Willie, again, getting very aggressive, looking for that rising tackle. But Roy tries to set up for that jab into side B. Seems to really like that, but Terry, able to fall out of it and finds the roll, confirm it into the rising tackle, and it is enough to kill off the top. So Willie strikes first in this head-to-head, but again, you have to think that Frostbite's goal here is to just get whatever you can. So Willie, unfortunately with no jump there, forced to rising tackle and pray, and does fall to his demise.
Yeah, and that's 1 stock. That's exactly what Frostbite needs to do in this scenario. Just get 1 off the board and see what else you can do. I mean, why not? Rising tackle will come through, getting some percentage there for Willie, but unable to find anything else off of that, as Frostbite is able to find a landing. The parry coming through yet again as well. Willie trying to seal that deal with another rising tackle mid-stage, but can't make that connection.
Yeah, Willie just throwing out these down airs right now. It's making me chuckle, but Willie doing a good job of, oh man, confirming a lot of damage. It finds the parry, but no punish there from Frostbite. Stuck in the moment, and Willie able to capitalize. So again, another stock in favor of Willie. And now, if you are SU, you're thinking, if you can steal this last stock and hold on to 2, you're giving yourself a good chance into the Sonic.
Yeah, I mean, 132%, you have to find this recovery here. They are able to do so. You need to try to keep this stock, though. If you are Willie, the back air will connect, and that will be the second stock. Willie has to find this stock and 3 more cleanly to keep SU in this series.
Yeah, now no room for error, and you just got to work with the stock that's ahead of you. So nothing else matters unless you lose the stock, right? It does not matter how much damage Willie takes. It will be wiped away if he's able to take this stock. So any damage, anything that happens that doesn't involve Willie losing a stock is totally fine, including a Burning Knuckle taking 1 the other direction. Gives Willie an opportunity, right? That's all you can ask for. A shot at the final player of Northwood. Willie finds himself in a similar situation to last set, but with 1 less stock to work with.
Yeah, 1 stock to 3 here. You have to assume that it's going to be Springy coming in on the Sonic. That was the response the last time that it came down to last player in that first set. But, I mean, Willie now down 1 more stock than they were the last time. So it's going to come up to a hero performance coming through from Willie to keep this one and force a set number 3. But, man, it's going to be difficult regardless, I feel, of who comes in as this last player for Northwood.
Yeah, I mean, we've already seen how much talent this Northwood roster has. You got to think that no matter who they put in here, it's going to be a massive challenge for Willie. But the good news is no matter who they decide to put in, that's it. For Northwood, right? You're not working with multiple opponents here. You're not working with who's going to come in first or who might I have to deal with after this opponent. Whoever they put in, that's it. It's 3 stocks of that, and you're through it. Mm-hmm. So that's the upside. That's sort of the light at the end of the tunnel. But boy, is it a long tunnel for Willie right now, as he only has 1 stock and cannot afford to take a single killing blow over this next matchup.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. I mean, Terry doesn't have the best recovery in the game, so recovering off stage is, of course, very difficult for that character. If whoever comes in can ledge guard properly and ledge guard well, I mean, that's just the stock and it's done, right? There's not a lot you can do. I mean, we saw it there on Kalos. Lost a jump, had to up air and hope you reach the ledge, but there's no way with how far away they were that they were going to be able to reach that ledge. So we'll have to see how Willie plays this one out, but certainly there is still hope here for SU in set number 2.
Yeah, as long as Willie's on the field, there's hope for SU. But looking back at these replays, I mean, you have to applaud Willie for what was, in a vacuum, a very nice matchup against Frostbite, on the Roy. But unfortunately, this is not a vacuum. This is a true battle. So would have loved to hold on to 1 or 2 of those stocks, but beggars can't be choosers. Like I said, all you can ask for is an opportunity, and all that's what Willie has earned himself. Yep. So with 1 stock to work with, it will be the Sonic once again. So this matchup has been played as well, right? And Sonic was able to come out on top, but it was just as close as that Roy matchup was as well. So you got to think that numbers are heavily favoring Northwood, but with Willie on the field, he's got a shot.
Yeah, we do go to FD here with fairly small blast zones that could help and be in favor of the Terry in this matchup, but frankly could help the Sonic too, right? If you get them off stage and you find a good ledge guard, I mean, that's it, right? So it'll be a very close matchup here. This 3 stocks to 1 right now. Willie doing a great job at dodging out on these power balls coming through. A little down tilt into a grab, up air into rising tackle. I mean, you can see how close they're up in the upper left, how close you were to the blast zone in that instance. So frankly, that could kill at around 80 to 90.
Oh, a good read there from Willie. It's not quite enough to find the stock, but yes, you're absolutely right. There's a couple things I like about this stage for SU. It being that, yes, the blast zones are very small, and it gives Sonic no platforms to camp on, because platforms would be a bad thing for Terry. So it's going to keep these two on an even playing field and mean that Willie always has an opportunity to, shoot a power wave at a charging Sonic, or at least get away or not give Sonic escape options if he misses the power ball in the form of platforms. So as we move on again, Willie with that first stock taken, but starting to eat some chip damage, now is in go meter range. So again, working with only 1 stock, this is where you'd like to be, but uncomfortably close to losing the stock with 1 thing going wrong.
Oh, unable to land the Buster Wolf, the side air, the forward air, coming through, unable to connect.
Oh, wow.
The roll into forward smash. Will be able to find that final stock. Northwood able to hold on for the potential comeback of SU and win this series 2-0.
Yeah, props to Northwood. That's a very talented team, and they showcased exactly why they are as good as they are. But Also, major props to SU, right? Swinging above their weight class a little bit in this one and looking pretty darn good. Taking Northwood all the way down to their last player both times is nothing to scoff at.
Yeah, it was a very, very close series between these two teams. Everyone on SU played very, very well into the matchups that they were assigned to and were hoping to perform it. I know set 2 kind of slipped away fairly quickly. I mean, big props to Malachite playing very, very well on that snake, taking 5 stocks, giving them a very powerful lead in this set number 2. And yeah, all around good play from both sides.
Yeah, very strong play indeed. So Northwood now moving to 2-0, I believe.
I think 3-0.
Oh, 3-0, excuse
yes.
me.
I think.
But, yeah, I know that they at least got a better feel for what they can expect from the rest of this group today than they did in their last matchup, as Northwood, I believe, overcame Southwest Oklahoma State in their first matchup. So SU beating SWOSU last year. We know that that was a factor in their playoff run. But what I'm getting at is that SU looked a lot better today and really gave Northwood a run for their money, which is something that they haven't yet seen in this bracket. So props to SU for sure for hanging in there today.
Yeah, I believe I heard our producer say that our Academy Smash is up 1-0, approaching their second set as well. So they're performing very, very well right now on the setups right next to the varsity squad. So they're able to kind of watch over the shoulder, watch some varsity players play, and then also now be able to have the varsity players kind of watch them do their thing as they move into the second set. So they look to be playing very, very well. They have a Kazuya on that team as well. Learning the ropes, I guess, from Willie, true. A very, very strong Kazuya player. But yeah, nonetheless, SU, I believe now sitting 1-1 in this group. So not the worst start off into this very stacked NECC Division 1 group. So we'll have to see where SU can go from here. But right now, not a bad start.
Yeah, not at all. And I believe I also heard him say, or our producer say, that Rivals is up 2-0, if I'm not mistaken. So shout out to them. They continue to play on. They are now, 5-1 in total maps so far this season. So they are on a great trajectory. And we'll see if they're able to close their series out today with a 3-0. But even without it, looking very strong if they continue that trajectory.
Yeah, no, all our teams playing tonight, playing very, very well thus far, looking to end the night at least with a 2-1 record if Academy Smash can pull through, and if, of course, Marvel Rivals comes up with possibly a clean sweep here as they approach map number 3. But thank you so much for everyone joining us here. Drop a like, drop a follow wherever you guys are watching. Love the Red Sox, hate the Yankees, and we will see you next time.
Shenandoah University is a big little university rising.
With 22 Division III sports teams, over 200 areas of study,
over 300 annual performances, an elite academic esports program,
Nationally ranked health professions programs, one of the biggest university presences on Broadway,
immersive AR and VR learning programs,
cybersecurity and computer science programs, and innovative undergrad and graduate programs.
all at a place that cares for you.
Shenandoah University is the big little university rising. Find out more at su.edu/rising.
We have the Esports Arena right here on campus in Winchester, Virginia, and this facility acts as the hub for all esports activity at Shenandoah University. Students are able to use this space not just for competition and practices, but also as a living learning community and a sandbox for them to come and explore and practice and try out things related to and through esports in the gaming industry so that they're getting that hands-on learning and the skills necessary to help them find a career by the time they graduate. We also have the professional level broadcast production booth where we do all of our broadcasting and production, from casting of our games that we play right here on campus to working with outside entities to record footage for them as well. In addition to the space that we have here in the Esports Arena is the Esports War Room. Our students get to use that space for studying, but also outside projects. So our students get to use this space for professional development and the academic side of our esports program, which is such a critical component to go with that competitive element that we have. So we combine all of our facilities at Shenandoah University with competition, community, and career preparation. We have over 250 days of programming, and there's something for everybody, and we want you to be part of it.